So about the taxpayers' money,
Oh,
indulging
taxpayers'
this
money.
man over
Yeah.
so many years.
I don't know what the law is about recovering assets, but I mean, clearly, criminals are forced to pay back any ill-gotten gains. But I think there's certainly this case for misconduct in public office, which carries life imprisonment. So that might be the way to deal with them, and that would certainly deal with his accommodation problems as well.
Well, that's I can imagine how much that would actually terrify them if they heard that, because I think they're under this sort of illusion that what they've done, there's nothing wrong with it. I still think they haven't, done anything that wrong.
No, exactly. I mean, they
Yeah.
see so many other people behaving like that, probably and getting away with it. But we're sending people to prison for tweeting and stuff. I think if the legal authorities really got a grip on this, we would see him go to prison for a long time, and possibly her as well. And that really, I think that would send out the signal that no one is above the law, even the rich and powerful, and it would be a very powerful signal actually to everyone.
Yes, it would be. You've said in multiple interviews about the Met Police and the National Crime Agency saying they don't want to go there. And that statement is pretty much saying they don't want to go there because they are above the law as it stands now. Is that what you meant by that statement?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is uncharted territory, and there are all sorts of, it's just so much easier to turn the other way and let it pass than to get into the nitty gritty of this. But I think there will be a lot of popular support for it. We're not dealing with two popular figures who have been unjustly treated. We're dealing with two grifters who should be punished. And so, I mean, in some ways, now that they're no longer so-called titled, it may be psychologically easier to do that. And I just really hope that the Met realize the strength of public feeling and that they need to do their job. Um, you know, uh, I think there's a lot of distrust of the institutions in this country at the moment. I suspect around the world, and the police, particularly, who I've always supported. Um, have lost a lot of respect for some of the things they've been doing.
I think that the king needs to get rid of a few key aides because there's been announcements from the palace and it's just struck the wrong note. It's all about this whingy sort of attitude about the fact that he's sick of putting out fires about Andrew. It sounds like someone spitting the dummy. And you just think, really, the memoir of Virginia Giuffre has just come out. You need to either say nothing or you need to acknowledge the victims of sex trafficking. But this whingy attitude, oh, I wish everyone would just leave it alone. I wish everyone would look the other way. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of putting out fires. I'm thinking, what are they doing? Because it
Yeah.
struck everybody that way today. They can't read the room.
No, exactly. I mean, that statement, I think, on the previous Friday it was counterproductive. And the problem is the Clive Aldertons of this world are just sycophants around them. No one is. The last decent person there was Christopher Gite. And Tom Sykes, I think, is a good piece showing how they're now trying to put the blame on the Queen, even though actually
Yes.
Charles was involved with a lot of these decisions. So, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
sort of whinginess we get from Charles anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, Mo, oh, me, all the things I have to put up with. But
Yes.
you're absolutely right. They forget the victims. I mean, the victims should be the center of this. But of
Yeah.
course, that would be an acceptance of the terrible things that Andrew had done. And they kind of want to minimize that.
That's understandable, I guess. It's interesting that Tom Sykes did do that piece because there's really a timeline with this story because there's the things you told us about the time when Andrew was, between 2001 and 2011 when he was special representative of trade and investment. And that was when you told us that, the Queen was getting reports and she was putting her head in the sand, didn't want to know, enabled it. Then you've got Tom Sykes focusing on more recent times, and in particular the palace's reaction and the missteps, re embracing, Andrew and Sarah for that fatal Christmas walk at Sandringham. And of course, do you think the heat would have increased to such an extent if it hadn't have been for the Duchess of Kent's funeral?
Well, I think that's a really seminal moment. And I think, particularly in terms of changing public opinion, Yeah, I think that is, there have been a couple of key points, and one was the leaked emails by the Mail on Sunday, great achievement.
Mm.
The other was the funeral, and then I think the Giffray book itself really brought it home. So it's been a succession of points, and they suddenly realised that that public opinion was hardening on each case. And actually, frankly, their Friday response was a pivotal moment. Actually, really set the whole thing backwards for them. It would have been an opportunity for them to get ahead of the story, to really, as you said, deal with it ruthlessly, to apologise for what had happened. But it's always the same thing. They always just do a little bit to sort of try and persuade people that they're doing something when they're not.
Yeah, I don't think that Prince William will want them to be in Adelaide Cottage or indeed Frogmore Cottage. I think that offer was on the table, years ago. Was it a year ago? It feels like years ago. When that
Yeah.
offer was first made, he should have grabbed it then, because I honestly do not think that they want them at Windsor.
No, of course not. I mean, it looks terrible. Every time he goes out riding on his horse, he's still there within the sort of family fold. People want him to go abroad. That was what they did with the Duke of Windsor. They want him, particularly, I always say the Middle East would suit him. I mean, there's press censorship, so there would be no coverage, ready supply of young women, sun, golf. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah, I had an idea. Fort Belvedere.
Well, that's pretty close too to Windsor, but you're
Is
right. It's
it?
free.
It's
It's
in
free.
Surrey. Is it in Surrey?
Yes, yes, but it's
Yeah,
still quite
yeah.
close to Windsor. But
Right.
absolutely, it's and it has all those wonderful associations with the Duke of Windsor, with whom he shares so many characteristics: the love of golf and the love of money, so and a lack of duty. So yes, that would be good. I mean, the Tower of London is still available.
I was just about to say that. You ruined my
No,
line. We
I'm
great
so
minds
sorry.
think alike.
But we do have places for these people.
We
But
do,
yeah, he
yes.
needs to go.
Yeah.
He needs to go abroad. People. I mean, I've been pushing Switzerland. I think that's certainly where Sarah would go if she went abroad. But I think also Spain. He loves all the golf courses there. They've been always offered properties there. A lot of dodgy criminals are in Spain, so I think he would feel very happy.
He'd fit right in. You, on a serious note, you've provided ample evidence over the years that the royal family are masters of the cover up, and they do this by restricting access to material and files that should be a matter of public record. And you've fought the good fight for this since your Mountbatten book.
Yeah, well, I mean, since Burgess,
Oh,
2015.
since Burgess, yeah, okay. So they hide these things, they lock them down, they lose them, they destroy them. What has to change? Does there have to be an independent? I know there's supposed to be an independent body in charge of all this, but does there need to be competent archivists taking over the royal family's documents from now on?
Yes, I mean it's a huge thing. I mean, it's a lot of it's about records management, and I think it would be changing the attitude in Whitehall that anything to do with the Royals at the moment, anything to do with the Royals is basically sent to the Royal Archives, and it doesn't go into the National Archives. There needs to be so all the information officers in the different departments have to basically put all this royal stuff to go through the system as normal. I think we need to have sensitivity reviewers who, take the view that unless it has its national security or something else, it should be released. We don't just get rid of stuff because it's embarrassing. And we need to proper records management.